So, I love basketball. There's so many things to like about basketball. But there's one thing about the NBA in particular that I absolutely hate. And that is the absolutely terrible way that the NBA has handled the official history of the Charlotte Hornets and the New Orleans Pelicans. Because in the context of keeping historical stats and records, it makes absolutely no sense. The Charlotte Hornets moved to New Orleans and since have become the Pelicans after being the New Orleans Hornets for several years. So why the hell do the Bobcats, who were an expansion team, get to all of a sudden steal the history from the Pelicans of the Charlotte Hornets just because they changed their name? Look at this. So we're looking at the 2001-2002 Charlotte Hornets here. And let's look at their team. Let's just kind of see what they did. Their top scorers were Jamal Mashburn and Baron Davis. Not a bad team. 44-38. Pretty solid team. Coach Paul Silas. What happened to this team next year? This looks, fairly promising. Let's check in how they did next year. There is no next season. So if you want to find their next season, you have to come all the way over here to the Pelicans and then look at their first season, which is the New Orleans Hornets in 2002-2003. And, it's the same team. I think Paul Silas still the coach. And, Jamal Mashburn, Baron Davis, David Wesley, all guys who were on that team last year. This is literally the same team. The Charlotte Hornets became the New Orleans Hornets. And just because they changed their name down the line and the Bobcats decided to change their name to the Hornets, all of a sudden they can steal this history. So look, Jamal Mashburn and Baron Davis, their stats are split up between two teams now. Even though they were on the same team for this whole time, I think Baron Davis was on the Hornets for 4 years? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. I mean, not really a half, that's only 18 games right there. But yeah, so a little over 5 seasons for Baron Davis. But instead, it's cut up into 3 seasons for the Charlotte Hornets and 2.5 seasons as the New Orleans Pelican / Hornet, even though he was on the same team the whole time. Now, I don't know about you, but that just infuriates me beyond belief. And this same thing is probably going to happen with the Seattle Supersonics and the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, if you're not aware, it's almost guaranteed that the NBA will be expanding sometime within the next several years. And almost assuredly, one of those expansion teams will be in Seattle, and it'll probably be called the Supersonics. Which I do think would be cool on its own. I think that would be really cool for the city of Seattle and for basketball fans as a whole. But what's not cool is that all of a sudden, this new franchise will probably steal all of the old Supersonics history from the Thunder. Now, I know some people will disagree with me on this, because it's well, they didn't play in Oklahoma City. They were Seattle Supersonics, so why should the Thunder get to parade that around? And I can respect that, I understand where you're coming from. But from an official stat-keeping perspective, it makes no sense. All of a sudden, Jeff Green and Kevin Durant have played for an extra franchise. All of a sudden, Nick Collison isn't a one-team legend for the Thunder / Supersonics. He's just some schmuck who played for 2 different teams and had a, whatever career. Just imagine that someone asked you if the Thunder had ever had a player win Rookie of the Year. You couldn't say Kevin Durant, which is probably what you would say. You'd have to say no, because now KD won a Rookie of the Year for the Supersonics, which are no longer affiliated with the Thunder in any way, which is just ridiculous. All of a sudden, the official history of the Thunder stats, Kevin Durant's scoring numbers are messed up. They're butter-knifed, and his rookie year is gone, separate. All of a sudden, Russell Westbrook was drafted by a team and then just played for a different team without being traded. That makes no sense. So yeah, and there's no solution to this. I know that the NBA is going to do this, and they're never going to switch it back. So I really just wanted to vent about this problem that I've had with the NBA for years now. And what better time to complain about it with expansion on the horizon and it probably happening again and getting me all pissed off over again. So despite what the NBA and Basketball Reference would have you believe, I refute their false claims and will follow the true way. The current Charlotte Hornets history only goes as far back as the Bobcats, and the original Charlotte Hornets will always live on as the Pelicans in my eyes. I refuse to acknowledge this stolen valor that the NBA is permitting. And with that, I thank you all for watching. If you guys stuck around this long, it would mean a lot if you guys liked the video, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. And I appreciate you guys. Thanks. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.